Hey everybody, it's Melissa from Plot Unknown. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/plot and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs they have for you. Download a title free and start listening today. It really is that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/plot. Good morrow, gentlemen and ladies. My name's Melissa.
My name's Luke.
This is Plot Unknown, and this is the episode
X.
X is for
XX.
two X's?
Double X.
Double X? Okay. What is that?
Alright, so I kind of alluded to it at the end of last episode, and I just told Melissa that we gotta have a discussion on this podcast.
Okay.
So XX is, it's like stands for 2X chromosomes. It's a women-directed horror anthology movie.
Okay.
Meaning,
What is an anthology?
there are 4 different stories.
Great. Why did you do this to me?
Because I don't know any other X movies. This is the only one I
Shit.
know.
Shit.
So, the question is, does this count? And are we gonna watch this movie?
Well, it's got to, right?
There's okay, so there's not a connected plot between them.
There's not a connective plot. It's just 4 different storylines?
Yes.
Why?
Now, I could give you...
Why isn't it just 4 different movies? I don't get it.
Well, that's... Okay, so horror anthology movies, for the most part, are all separately directed short films packed into one. So, like, ABCs of Death is that.
Okay.
ABCs of Death has no story. VHS and VHS 2 do have a story because they are these short films interlaced into this grand story.
Okay.
And then Southbound also is one, and that is a whole story too. I don't believe that XX has a whole story. So what are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Right? Like it's kind of... I don't want to give you all 4 names and have you come up with 4 plots. Unless if you want to.
Maybe you can just give me the one that you find the most interesting and like give me like, are there different names too?
It's just 4 short films in one movie.
Okay. Are they like titled something?
Yes, they're all titled.
Okay, so
We could do 4 or we could do 1 or however many.
What we could do, I mean, we could obviously watch the whole thing, duh. But maybe I could just do one of the short stories.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
This is a good movie.
Okay. I know what I'm doing for X next year. Can you guess?
X-Files, but I've seen X-Files.
You've seen the fight?
Yes.
You've seen that poster?
Yeah.
The Fight of the Future? I have it right there. Fight the Future?
I don't know how many of those movies are there.
Oh, Lucas.
I've seen at least one of the X-Files movies.
Why?
Is there one X-Files movie?
I think there's 2. Damn it. Have you seen the one with the bees? Cool. All right.
I don't remember.
Great. Well, you're not going to know what it's about if you don't fucking remember. You might have seen it, but do you remember? It's like Mrs. Doubtfire again.
Oh, that's true. I forgot that I
All right, cool. We're going to watch the X-Files next year.
Okay, so...
Next semester? Yeah, next semester.
I'll give you all 4 titles, and you can pick which one you want to write.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
We have The Box.
Okay.
The Birthday Party.
Okay.
Don't Fall.
Okay.
And Her Only Living Son.
Oh, I'm going to go with Her Only Living Son.
Okay. So Melissa's going to write the plot to...
Wait. Question.
What?
Will I know any of the actors, actresses?
I don't think so. I don't think you're going to know anybody in this.
Okay. So it's called Her Only Living Son?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, let me get my phone. I don't know where it is.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and give Melissa 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And she's going to write a plot to...
You giving them the spiel?
Yes.
Can I put down my microphone?
Yes. She is going to write the plot to Her Only Living Son. It is the 4th and final entry in XX, I don't know. So she's going to take, like I said, 5 minutes. Go ahead and go through it. And then we're going to return after this little clip. Probably of just Her Only Living Son. We'll see.
That's fair.
And then when she comes back, we're going to talk about it, read it, and watch the movie. So we're going to go ahead and roll that clip.
This is insane. Your son tore my daughter's fingernails off. Tore them clear off. She had to go to the emergency room. Her hands were bleeding so badly.
I just don't understand why he would do something
because I felt like it. That's what he told Stacy.
I kind of went with your approach on this, on how you do plots. I like made a story.
Oh, good.
I didn't just like bullshit it like I usually do.
Okay, so tell us about it.
Okay, so it's called Her Only Living Son. I also made names. Ramona, her name's Ramona. She became pregnant with twin boys later in life. In her mid-30s, when this might be a little iffy in the what's that word I'm looking for? Ethical category. So Ramona became pregnant with twin boys later in her life, in her mid-30s, when pregnancy becomes a hit or miss in the genetic category.
Sheesh.
Oh, is it the best? Sorry. Because I mean, it's not like it's wrong.
No.
My mom had me when she was 37. Shit. I don't got problems. I don't think. Guess we'll find out. Okay, so she was a single parent. Oh. Wait.
Oh. Did you just delete it all?
Oh, yeah, some of it deleted. Shit. Okay, I'll make it up as I go. Damn, I remember what I was trying. That's a bummer. Holy shit, I wrote a lot too.
This is the first technical error we've had with deleting a plot.
I know.
I'm kind of surprised.
I don't know how that just deleted all. Damn. Okay, anyway. So she was a single parent. The dad became AWOL when he heard of the pregnancy. So because of her, genetic category hit or miss pregnancy within the fucking late 30s, her pregnancy involved a rather sad ending with one of the twins dying in the womb. And because of that, Henry was her only living son.
Zabrowski?
Henry Zabrowski, yes. Was her only living son. But unfortunately, the ghosts of the lost twin haunted Ramona and Henry's lives. That's where it all deleted. But basically what I was going to say was that the ghost, who I did not name, the ghost of the boy, was jealous that Henry got to live and he didn't. So he would continuously try and kill Henry by trying to trip him down the stairs into a box of knives. Who knows?
Okay.
And Ramona would try and save him, but it might be Ramona's downfall.
And we're talking about the ghost of a fetus here, right?
Yeah, but
this is an.
But it's an energy ghost. It's an energy. It's not a baby ghost. It's
so it's like a will-o-wisp.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, precisely.
It's a little ball of flames.
Power. Yeah, a little ball of an angry baby.
Yes.
And he's coming to kill that motherfucker.
But in the middle of the ball, the core,
is a small baby.
The fetus.
It's one of those little baby packs that you can buy from Party City.
And it grows up I was thinking about the ones that you put in water, and it gets bigger if you put it in water.
Yeah.
That's with this child. That's
okay.
How about this? I'll give you a revision to your plot.
Great.
His goal is to get back into his mother's stomach, because if he does, he becomes one of those little sponge toys.
So he
becomes an
his
actual
mom?
child.
Oh, okay. He just becomes his mom.
He'll grow in her womb.
He absorbs his mother in the womb.
Yeah.
Well, unabsorbs. Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty good plot.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you went this direction.
I liked it. I was gonna go with a different direction, but then I was like, oh, twins.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah. I had a good time. I thought it was cool.
You gotta throw accuracy out of the window.
Yeah, dude. I was just her only living son. Oh my god. One of them died in the womb and is gonna come back to haunt the other kid.
Yeah. Well,
perfect.
We're gonna watch the movie and then we'll see how you did.
Okay. And again, this is 4 different stories, so we'll obviously watch the whole thing and talk about all of them, but I guess our main focus will be on the last one.
Yeah, but your points are only going to be for I don't think the main focus is going to be on the last one, but in terms of the application of your plot, it's going to be the last one.
Okay. Should we talk about that one first then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will. We might go. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Bye. Just
Bye.
kidding.
Roll that clip.
Roll the clip.
What's in the box?
Danny, leave the man alone. present.
Can I see?
Danny.
Stop being so nosy.
It's okay. No problem.
Before we return you to today's program, we just want to remind you that today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/plot and browse the unmatched selection of audio programs. Download a title free today and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/plot to get started today. So why Audible? Audible's content includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original shows, news, comedy, and more from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, and entertainers. To give you a little taste of what I'm listening to David Lynch's Catching the Big Fish, Meditation, Consciousness, and Creativity, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm listening to it at work, on my commute, while I'm doing chores, and all that kind of stuff. But you don't have to take my recommendation. That's the beautiful thing about it. With your free book, with your trial membership, you can pick anything in Audible's content libraries and pick that and have that for free. So again, just go ahead and go to audibletrial.com/plot. That is audibletrial.com/plot for your free audiobook. And again, we just want to go ahead and thank Audible once again for sponsoring our show today. And now we're going to go ahead and return you to the show. All right, everybody, we've watched the movie. It's been a day?
Yeah.
2 days?
2 days.
And we finally...
It took us 2 days to watch this movie.
Yes.
It was a 2-day
that
movie.
Long.
Yeah, it's that long.
We finally have our damn producer back in studio.
Yep. No, don't clap.
Please
Don't clap.
It's gonna be real loud. Oh my god.
Is the audio synced?
I don't know,
Sam, it's all
Mr.
going into
Producer.
one mixer.
Is it?
You're
Hello.
Yeah, you're the producer.
I didn't watch this movie.
You're just here to be annoying.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
here
sorry.
to
I was doing other stuff.
produce the podcast.
Yeah, producing
Sam knows
quotations.
nothing about
And
producing this
by
podcast.
production, what we mean is I adjust the volume.
Which, as I'm looking at the computer, is much louder than what we had before.
Okay, sorry.
Oh no.
How's that?
You're
That
listening
seems
to
quiet
it.
now.
No, Sam, that looks fine.
Okay.
So, we've watched the movie. Let me go ahead and, before we talk about the plot or anything, let me read a summary because we've been really bad about that recently.
Yeah.
So, as we talked about before, because this movie is an anthology, it has 4 short stories in it. So, instead of just finding an overarching plot summary, I found one that had all 4.
All 4, that's good.
So this is, as always, from imdb.com. This is from Claudio Carvajalo. Directed by 4 different women. XX is divided into 4 segments. 1, The Box. Near Christmas, Susan Jacobs is going home by subway with her son Danny and her daughter Jenny. There is a man with a box, and the nosy Danny asks what it is. The man opens the cover, and Danny glances inside the box. From that moment on, Danny does not eat anymore. 6 days later, his father, Robert Jacobs, takes him to Dr. Weller, that cannot find reason for the loss of appetite. When Danny tells Jenny the content of the box, she also stops eating. Then they tell to Robert what Danny has seen, and he stops eating too. What is the mystery of the box? Number 2, the birthday party. On the day of her daughter's birthday, Mary finds her husband dead in his office. She tries to hide the body since the guests for the birthday party will arrive soon. Will she succeed? Number 3, Don't Fall. 4 friends go camping in the wilderness and they find the horror in the place.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Well, that one was kind of short.
It was, but it was good.
4, her only living son. Cora flees with her son Andy from her husband and lives in a small town. Near the 18th birthday of Andy, it's literally the day before, his behavior changes, and he discloses his dark side. What will Cora do?
Cora,
Avatar?
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes.
That's what I said that during the thing.
Anime.
Let's jump in. Melissa, you wrote the plot for Her Only Living Son,
yeah,
number 4.
Yeah.
So, were you accurate?
No.
What did you say it was?
I said it was about twins, and one died in the womb and came back to haunt the family. So I was right that she was a single mother, but everything else was wrong.
So, did you say the gender of the twins?
I said they were both boys.
I'll give you 2.
No, give me 1.
Well, I was gonna give you one for single mother and one for a boy.
No, give me one.
Okay,
I
I'll give
deserve
you
a
one.
one.
Okay.
I deserve a one. I've gotten some really good grades. This
You
one
did
was
write
just,
a good plot, though.
I was
See, now
yeah.
you're into my style. Like, you write a really good plot, but it's just not that accurate.
I got creative and I wrote a really nice plot. That was a good story, but it wasn't right. I honestly preferred the one in the movie because it was the devil.
Yeah, so let's talk about... Do you want to go in order of 1 through 4? Do you think that would be easiest?
Probably.
Okay, so let's start with number 1.
Sucked.
The box.
Next.
So the box was
Dumb.
not great. It's definitely the low light of this movie.
Which is probably why it was first, because they knew it was kind of like low key. So they
Yeah,
were just like,
so
let's just throw this in first.
I thought the acting wasn't good. The writing
No.
wasn't very good. The premise is honestly kind of old, because I feel like we've seen this premise of like, well, not of you see a box and then you don't eat, but it's like the whole what's inside you'll never know,
and you
like,
literally
it's in
never
Pulp
know.
Fiction and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I think that whole thing is kind of cheap.
I hate that because I am a nosy person and I want to know everything.
Yeah.
So like,
And I get it.
I
Like,
get it
the
too,
point of it,
but
it
I want to know.
isn't good.
I want to know why they didn't eat
Melissa,
and why
what's-
they all died.
What's the best part of this segment? I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's the shots of the food.
Yes.
They are all so well. Like, if there is one thing I will say that I could tell that this movie focused the most on, it is the shots of the food and the scenes of them eating dinner.
Yeah.
Gratuitous food shots?
Yes, but like
Better
in a
or
really
worse
good way.
than the Tim Tracker shots of his food?
Better.
Better.
Okay.
Better quality
it's
video.
It's
Better
really
quality
good.
food.
Less heartfelt though.
It's also just
Less heartfelt. Okay.
less heartfelt. But yes,
Shout out
definitely
to the
low
Tim
light-
Tracker.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim Tracker. Please be on our podcast.
Could you imagine?
That'd be
I'd
great.
cry.
This is definitely the low light of the 4. Even if technically 5 if you want to count the like ending scenes,
The
or
intros
whatever
and
it
shit
is.
like
Yeah.
are like the between the scenes.
Which I think we'll just cover that last.
Let's grade them at the end.
Okay.
Like a 1 through 5.
And then we'll give an overall.
Yes.
So number 2 was the birthday party, which had an elongated title, but it's a long one. What do you think about this one?
Fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was about a birthday party, and I mean like the acting in this one, maybe not the acting, but the acting of the mom was just like far beyond anything in
Yes,
the
the mom is great.
the first act. What would you say, the first story, I
First
guess?
segment, whatever
First
you wanna call
segment
it.
was just beyond anything that we had like seen from the first one. So it was refreshing, to say the least, that it got better.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good story. It was unique. Like I thought it was awesome. The one thing that I don't really like was like they like made I guess she was probably like the nanny, the lady in all black. She seemed like so unnecessary. Like I guess she was there to like make it seem like she did something.
Yeah.
But in
And
the end
also
she was
to
just like,
provide another like, oh, she's gonna get caught kind of thing.
oh yeah, that's true. Because like so the premise of this story was that like her daughter has like anxiety because of her, so she really wanted to give her daughter like a full day of just about her, that she could have fun with her friends and like have a good time. And her fucking dad died, the husband died, and so she's trying to like hide him
By drinking and taking pills.
yeah. So she like tries to hide him so that the daughter doesn't find out, and she hides him in like a mascot, because it's like a costume party. So she hides him in the mascot of a panda.
Yep. That she paid $1,000 and 2 ounces of weed for.
Yeah, I'll give you $1,000 and 2 ounces of medical marijuana I
For
didn't
my
use.
knee surgery or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah, and it was interesting. The very ending was the best part, where it had like a title or like an ending sequence.
Oh yeah, I thought so. It ends with a slow-mo shot of the nanny accidentally bumping the
Panda.
dead dad in a panda suit, who's sitting at the end of a table with all these kids and everybody around him.
Yeah.
She accidentally hits him, and his head falls off, or the panda head falls off, and he falls into the cake in front of him. And
Yeah.
he's dead as fuck, and everybody starts screaming. And then it goes to the title screen, Like it cuts to the title screen and it says the birthday party, and then it says, or like the memory that Lucy tried to forget from her 7th birthday, or the and it's like the one that the therapist said that is the reason for her lack of intimacy or something like that.
Yeah,
and it was
funny.
it's just good.
The one memory that Lucy tried to suppress.
Yes,
that's so funny.
I think that this is a nice kind of thing because Sam can probably give his input on this. I've watched a lot of horror anthologies when that was kind of a thing in horror, and I feel like having one that is kind of comedic relief is
like
always
lighthearted.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It always just takes a break away from sometimes not even good, serious horror short story stuff.
Most of the time, not very good.
Most of the time, not very good, but entertaining. Like the one that I think of,
Mostly.
and this one is one of the most embarrassing things that I can say I don't enjoy, but like I find kind of entertaining, is the like World War II dog and cat short from ABCs of Death. When
I haven't seen that movie in like 4 years.
so they're in like a strip club, and there's a dog who's like Hitler, and there's an
Oh
dog
my
who's
god,
an
with the
American.
puppets?
Yeah.
Oh, that
And
shit is awful.
it's dumb, but it's like an entertaining
It's
kind of.
not
It's
entertaining.
dumb. I'll show you.
I was like, I don't remember. I've seen that too, but I don't remember. It's been a long time.
But I feel like having just this kind of lighthearted, funny part is just nice.
Yeah,
you know?
it is, and it doesn't like it helps. It doesn't. It does help that it's like good too.
Yeah.
That it's like
Yes, it's
it's
well
not only
acted, it's
comic
well
relief,
written.
but it's like really well done and a good story, and it's kind of funny and like fucked
Yeah.
up. It's
So
nice.
So that was your favorite part, was the title sequence
Well, the
from
ending.
this section.
Yeah, the ending, like freaking quote. I don't know how to.
I gotcha.
You know the ending
Yeah.
part that we just talked about. I know what your favorite part is. Go ahead, say it.
Well, I wanted to say before we get to my favorite part, I think that one of the better things that this short does is the kind of lack of dialogue almost, because there's a good amount of talking, but there's like the mom doesn't really say too much.
Towards the end, it gets like less and less dialogue.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because it's just letting you focus on just the absolute, not hilarity, but like just the amount of
Weird.
absurdity that this whole thing
The
is. Because the costumes are, one kid is dressed up as a toilet, one's a tick,
One's just a shape.
It's just a blue shape.
Yeah.
They're so stupid, and they're just doing this dumb dance. It's great.
It's great.
My favorite part is after she discovers her husband dead, she is like trying to figure out what to do, and she picks him up and is starting to take him somewhere, and she looks out the window, this big ass bay window, and she sees the nanny like in the other room or whatever, and it has this crazy like orchestral hit. It's like bah, and then
Yeah, like that.
that was perfect. And then it's just this super tense music, and
Yeah.
like it's kind of anxiety inducing.
Yeah,
and
which
you're
is-
kind of just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's a really lighthearted thing, but I'm really scared
Well,
by this.
that's something that is very you too, is that you get really like, you hate scenes like that where like
Yes.
people are doing something they're not supposed to be doing. And that's like the key thing about that scene. Also, I like that you say it's anxiety inducing, because like one of the main points of this story is that like the mom has anxiety.
Or the kid does.
Well, they both do.
Well, yes,
the
the
reason
mom
that the
definitely
kid,
also does, yeah.
the reason that the kid has anxiety is because the mom has anxiety.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, you're right. It like plays into the theme of the movie.
of the
The
Sequence.
Sequence, yeah. My
Yeah.
bad. Do you want to
who be
move on to? You want to move on to number 3?
yes,
What is it?
it's Don't Fall.
Okay, so tell us about it.
Well, let me get comfy. So this one, it's
She's
like
going horizontal.
I'm gonna fall asleep. Just kidding. So it's about 4 friends. They go hiking in like the middle of the nowhere in the desert. They go in a desert. And they find like a rock painting, or what is that called? Cave painting. Cave painting. Dumb. And yeah, it's just kind of creepy. Creeps them out. And so I don't know. They go back to their van and they all go to sleep, essentially. And fucking one of the girls, whose name I don't remember,
It was Grendel.
Grendel. No.
Gredla.
Gretchen?
Grendola.
Was it Gretchen?
Gretchen, yes.
Granola.
Yeah, so granola.
What? Okay, what were you calling the taint earlier?
The grundle.
The grundle. That's why you said that. That's
So,
funny.
Yeah, grundle goes out after she's asleep.
Yeah, grundle goes
She
out.
just
You
kinda
go. You
wakes
keep
up
going. Yeah, you can tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, she just kind of wakes up by the cave painting, and she sees more cave paintings.
Yeah.
Of this creature, and out of the fog, conveniently next to her in the entrance of the cave, literally, like in the shot, horizontal to the cave painting that we're looking at, comes this Darth Maul ass like horned creature or whatever. And she screams, and one of the guys gets out to go investigate. Somehow he knew exactly where she was. I don't really know.
He probably heard the scream and just kind of like what is that called?
Echolocated.
Yeah, echolocated. That's
Yeah.
it.
So he goes and investigates, and he sees her all kinds of fucked up with like claws and a big mouth and superhuman powers.
She's like stretched. She looks very long. All her limbs are long.
Yeah, because like her bones grow or whatever.
And she got fucking anglerfish teeth.
She goes,
Yeah, she goes. Meh.
So he runs back to the little caravan, fucking trailer van. Wakes his friends up, and they're like, "Bruh, that's my sister, bruh. I see that she has long hands, and like she's fucked up, bruh, but she's hurt. She's injured.
She's hurt. We gotta get her."
Her brother, who you don't know is her brother until right then, runs out to go try to see what's up, and he gets got, and he gets thrown through the window of the camper, and her girlfriend and the other guy are standing there like, "What?" And she jumps on top of the camper.
Yes.
And as the girlfriend is escaping, she accidentally locks the dude in the van. There's this great scene right before that where she's on top of the van and she's coming in through the busted window, and you just see her like talons or fucking claws or whatever slowly one by one grip the top of the van.
Yeah.
And Melissa hated that.
Oh.
So she jumps in, and there's this my favorite part of this sequence was when he's sitting in the van and he wants to get the fuck out, and he's saying, "Let me out."
No. And she comes up behind him and just stands behind him.
And she's like trying to open the door, and she looks up and she sees that the girl is standing behind him, and she just bolts.
Yeah,
like she doesn't try to open the door. She doesn't say anything. She looks at it and fucking runs. And then he gets destroyed. Like, you don't see him die, but she's like clawing. She's like, she's like shredded cabbage on his ass. You know those like meat shredders that you use for barbecue?
Yes.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
So Grendel's girlfriend runs off of a cliff because she's an idiot, and she like destroys her shin and is poking out of her body.
Her bone gets cracked out of her skin.
Yeah.
And then she creates a tourniquet with her shirt, which is like
so
impressive.
Smart. And she calms her breathing down. Great.
Yeah.
Just
she knows what to do.
Yeah, absolute definition of what to do in a panic situation.
But then
as she's looking up at the cliff face, Grundle walks down the cliff face. Like she's just full on gravity boot. Like Mission Impossible walking down. I guess also Panic at the Disco walking down the cliff face.
He walks up the
she's like begging for her life. She's like, "It's me, it's me, it's me," and then she gets destroyed also.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely probably the shortest one, but it was entertaining and spooky and yikesy.
It was the most horror movie one to me.
It was. There was a lot of blood in that one.
Yeah,
a lot of gore.
And it was like, it was very, here's a monster, here's a group of kids, let's kill them all.
Very classic horror movie type thing. Like,
yeah,
it was just like a group of teens.
Young
adults.
Honestly, I didn't think the acting was nearly as bad as the one in the box. It actually kind of felt natural. Like, it felt like friends were making a movie.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I liked that. The premise was cool.
Yeah, I think the only time that the acting seemed a bit wonky to me was when the guy with the dreads got thrown through the back seat of the window.
And they're just kind of standing.
And they're kind of like, oh,
they're like Scooby and Shaggy.
Yeah.
And looking
just like zoinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoinks!
Yes.
God, you sound like an
So,
old man.
The fourth one.
Zoinks!
The fourth one is
The one that I did my plot on.
yes, is her only
living son.
Do you want to go through that plot? Like
Yeah.
not super in depth, but
Like we've
give
been
us a
going in
gist.
depth with these plots, and I guess that's fair though because there's 4 of them.
It's
so
also hard to talk about them all in depth.
I ran into the microphone with my headphones. So you guys probably want to say those 2 sentences again.
you're an idiot. Okay.
Start from, do you want to go into the next movie?
I'm gonna leave all that in. Do you want to go into the next movie?
I would love to.
So the next one is
Her only living son.
This
Why
is
do you always
one
forget
Melissa
that?
wrote about.
I did in my plot.
So tell us
and I was
about it.
very wrong. Well, I was wrong, as we mentioned, but so what did she do? Did she like sell her soul to the devil or something?
So my understanding is that her husband offered her up to the devil for she talks about how he's living in Hollywood with like 3 wives, so I assume it has something to do with that. Mm-hmm. So he offered her up to the devil, I guess, as like an offering so that she can house the devil's son.
Yes.
The devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the actual devil like is trying to come take his son back,
As he turns 18.
scoop him as he turns 18, and the mom was like your dad's a piece of shit, basically. Like, he hasn't been here. Why would you go with him? Like, I've been your mom. I've been the one that's like been traveling around trying to keep you safe from all these people that are, you know, wanting you to become his like fucking main man, king motherfucker. And yeah, and then he basically the son has to choose between the mom or
Being
the devil.
the king of darkness.
Yeah, being the king of darkness.
Which, that's a tough decision to make.
True. And he chooses the mom.
Yeah, it's this. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. If I had to recommend one of these short movies or whatever, I would recommend this one because the ending is worth it all.
Yeah.
And it's like
super good.
Yeah, so the devil comes on his 18th birthday. Mm-hmm. The mom confronts him about, like, here's what you are. And he says, like, kneel before me. And she kneels and she starts crawling to him. And she, like, starts crying and saying, like, what is happening to you? Like, she's all upset. Mm-hmm. And he's confused. And the devil comes and, like, tries to collect his kid. And they're embracing, and she tells him the story of what happened for him to become what he is.
Yeah.
And
she explains all that she's done for him.
Yeah, all that she's done, and she's saying, like, don't look at him, you know, choose me. He never came when you had chicken pox or during all the school stuff and all that. And it is just so sweet.
Yeah.
And at the end, he says, like, I love you, Mom. And because she says, you need to choose. Like, she says, it's your decision, you need to choose. Because it's like of divorcing. Mm-hmm. And he hugs her and he says, love you, Mom. And then
he
the
chooses
devil
her.
Squeezes them to death.
Yeah. He crunches them together, squeezes them to death. And it's like he obviously, since like the devil came and became darkness, so it became all dark and everything. And like after that scene was over, after they got crushed, it was like essentially morning. It was like daytime, and they were like dead on the floor, like in pools of blood, and there was the happy birthday cake on the counter.
Yeah, it's just so good.
Ouch.
And
I said ouch.
I wish this was a full length one because like there are so many intricacies I think that they mentioned in this short, but they didn't have time to go into. Like, for example, all of the people around town know the kid and know that he's the devil's son.
Why?
And want him to be the devil's son.
Yeah.
For example, this kid is like showing serial killer traits and like is being fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. So he at school pulled off all of the fingernails of this girl, and they're sitting in the principal's office, and the principal is like, yeah, I think your daughter needs to go and just take a vacation while we kind of sort this out.
Yeah.
And when the mother leaves, which we'll get to when the mother leaves in a second, the principal was like, listen, we have seen in your son that he is going to change the lives of everybody in the world. So we're not going to punish him. We're going to take him under our wing. We hope that you trust us. And I wish that they had time to go into that kind of stuff more, because that was awesome.
Yeah, and like why everybody knew him and why like everybody was essentially a devil worshiper. Like where the fuck did that come from?
Why they had to skip town and all that kind of stuff, because it is so good.
Yeah.
So I think my favorite and also least favorite scene in this is when the mother of the girl who got her fingernails got is leaving. She pushes open a push door and slams it. But when she pushes open the push door, it makes the sound as if she opened up a door with a door handle. Yeah. And it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Luke goes, wait.
I rewinded it like 6 times and I watched it, because it's like, how do you describe a door opening?
It just sounds like a door handle like getting pushed open. Yeah. And then, but it's a push door. So you literally just have to like
it is so
push it.
Fucking funny.
Yeah.
It is great. What's your favorite part? Is it the ending?
Yeah, I mean, I just think like cinematic beauty is this like the very end scene where they're laying on the floor entwined with like in pools of blood, and you just see like the happy birthday cake on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very pure. There's a bunch of white in that scene. Like it's supposed to be. I mean, obviously there's red blood on the floor to signify, because they're dead. But it's very like white and pretty and like pure, I guess.
I got
that he picked his mother. He picked his mom.
I got to go back for a second. Hold on, before you say your thing. Okay. My favorite part of the last one, because we didn't talk about our favorite scenes in number 3, was the title scene. Holy shit, it's awesome. Let me describe this to you, Sam, because you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
It is, the short opens with them hiking in the desert, right? Mm-hmm. And as it kind of starts to pull out, and as it pulls out, you see this like red border around them, and it pulls out to be the A, don't fall. Yes, in fall.
Sounds like Stranger Things.
No, it's like Stranger Things if the entire scene was encapsulated in just the A, and it kept playing while the entire screen was red and said
That's
don't
cool.
fall. It was so good. I love that title scene so much.
Okay. I want to ask you guys this question. I didn't watch this movie, right? Mm-hmm. Is it scary?
No, I mean...
So is it a horror film, or is it just like a collection of...
thrillers?
Is it a collection of movies that use horror imagery to put something else forward?
Well, it's billed as a horror anthology.
But it doesn't matter that doesn't matter. Is it a horror anthology, or is it just an anthology film that uses certain imagery to tell stories?
I'd say it's a horror... I'd say it's an anthology with like horror themes.
Like, is it unsettling at all? Is it?
Yeah.
The first one's unsettling, even though it's bad.
Yeah, the first one is like super creepy, even though it's really bad.
The third one's unsettling, and the second one's uneasy.
Yeah, the second one, it just is like
Fourth one's kind of
thriller because like you just don't know what you're expecting. There's no like pop out like fucking scary shit. It's just like unsettling. The third one is pretty freaky. That one's probably the scariest of all of them. I wouldn't say scary. I mean, I would use that very lightly, but it's definitely like the goriest and like most horror out of all of them.
Okay.
And then the last one is just good.
I'd kind of liken the last one to the way we were talking about, I think it was The Witch, when we were saying that it's like a coming of age film, but like with horror themes attached to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would describe the last one.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Because sometimes like horror anthologies that I've seen kind of sometimes lean into the imagery really, 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 really hard. Like the one I'm specifically thinking of is it's in the ABCs of Death, and it's M for miscarriage. And it's literally, I don't know if you remember this, but it's literally just like you watch a girl sit down on a toilet seat, and then just there's blood that comes out, and then like it ends. So like sometimes horror anthology films can lean too far into the imagery because they think they can get away with stuff because it's short, and so they just want to be as graphic as possible, and that ends up being really lame.
I understand what you're saying, and I think now that we've kind of gone over specifically this movie, we can touch upon horror anthologies in general a little bit. I think that the problem you're thinking of specifically, I think, relates to ABCs of Death because they try to pack so much into it, whereas a movie like VHS or VHS 2 are really gory in a way.
What?
They're really gory, right? But they're gory with they're not just gore to be gore.
Yeah.
Even if they don't have a big theme or whatever, they try to tell a story.
Yeah.
Whereas ABCs of Death is just shock value.
Some of them tell a story. Some of them are just shock value.
Well, no, the really well-made ABCs of Death tell a story, but the really shitty ones are just shock value.
Right. And so I guess what I'm saying is just like, I think some people would think that because I'm saying, oh, is it scary? And you're telling me no. Like, is it really a horror film? And you're telling me no. That would be a bad thing, right? But
No.
actually, let me finish. But actually, like, I think that it's a good thing because there's tons of movies that are billed as horror films, like Seven or things like that, right? That they're not horror films. They're just films that use imagery to push their point forward. And I think that ends up being, I don't know a jack shit about this movie, but from what it sounds like it ended up being more powerful, certain parts of it, because it didn't push too far into the graphic side of horror films in general.
Yeah, and Melissa, you can tell me if you agree with this or not. I think that I think you're right. I think some of the one I'm thinking specifically about is Her Only Son, or Her Last Living Son, or whatever.
You don't know the name at all.
I don't.
Her Only Living Son.
Yes, I think that
my
is the
God.
best. I think that's the best kind of descriptor for what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I think that movie that film is kind of,
That sequence
is kind of powerful a little bit because
it's got a theme.
Yeah, because it uses horror as like a border.
Mm-hmm.
As like a basis for emotional storytelling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It is just the horror of
Yeah.
it just happens to be there. That story could be about anything, but it works out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. It's just good.
So did you guys like this film?
Yes.
Did you like
Yeah,
it?
I liked it a lot.
I did too.
Now I will say horror went through the anthology phase. Like there were a lot of horror anthology movies made around this
VHS.
time. Yeah, I don't
Which,
think you.
by the way, VHS underrated film.
VHS 2 also underrated.
VHS 2 not so great.
Not so great.
Wait
but
a minute,
it has
is
the cult
VHS
one.
2 is VHS 2 the one where the monster
The
they
cult?
go to Is
Yes,
that VHS
that's the
2?
best
Okay.
VHS.
That one's really good.
It also has the zombie one.
The zombie one's bad.
The zombie one's not bad. The zombie one's sad. I think you've watched those. I don't think.
No,
you
I
have.
haven't.
Zombie one's bad.
The horror. I remember watching a horror anthology with you. It was about the holidays. Do you remember watching that? And it had the
Yes.
really fucked up Easter bunny.
Trick
Yes.
or treat?
No, it's about each holiday. There's one for Valentine's Day, Easter, Christmas.
Okay.
I don't think they do Halloween.
Listen, we watched all
good as
those
fuck.
anthologies right when we first started dating, which
Because that
was
was when it was
2.5
that's
years
around when
ago.
It was.
Yeah, I don't remember any of them.
Yeah. So like,
Sorry.
so I think how long have we been recording?
42
yeah.
minutes.
So I think now we're gonna get into if we would recommend it to somebody.
Right. Cool.
Melissa, would you recommend
Cool.
this?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's good.
I would recommend this movie, and I think that I would also like to say that if you want to check out horror anthologies, I would say
Do this one first.
I would say this one is a good one to go with.
Also, you need
Show.
explain.
Creep show.
Shut up.
Creepshow's great.
You
show.
explain why it's XX.
Oh, I don't know if I did. So it's called XX because it's specifically all female directed.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
they named it after the two X chromosomes.
The X
And
chromosomes, yeah.
I think that's a good thing. Like I think it's
I
cool
love
to have
women.
an all female directed.
Why would that
horror
why
anthology.
would that ever be a bad thing?
Well, no, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying anybody thinks it is, but I'm saying it's a cool thing to have.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's smart to name it XX. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's like I said, I didn't watch the movie.
Also,
but,
they
like,
were all led by all the main characters were women.
Love that.
That's cool.
So true.
I think horror is a place that minorities and women have not necessarily thrived, and that's because there's like the stereotype of like the black person gets killed first in every horror film, right?
And the last living girl.
and
stuff
the
like that.
yeah, the girl, like there's one of the girls always lives and runs away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like, I don't think they've been treated very well in those kinds of senses, and I think so. It's pretty cool to have a movie that's just made by women with women leads, and I think
With
that's
horror, like
with horror tendencies that doesn't end
Yeah.
up with just everybody either getting sorry to say these words, either those girls getting fucked, raped, or killed.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Because like women in horror films have especially in the 2000s and like before that, have just been really used as like a character piece for the horrors of sexual assault.
Yeah.
And especially in a lot of the harder stuff that's come out around that time, like it, there are themes of it in Saw and obviously The Last House on the Left, both the remake and the original.
And I Spit on Your Grave.
And I Spit on Your Grave, and like the original ones of those movies are trying to make points, and I get it, but it's also in a day and age. When did this movie come out? 2017.
2017.
So in a day and age where, it's time to put others at the forefront of storytelling, because I think we've exhausted a lot of the storytelling that has come from a mostly white male dominated side of horror. And I think it's really cool to see people push those boundaries, because like Night of the Living Dead, that movie is really about slavery.
Yeah, it's about racism.
Yeah, and like that movie really pushed boundaries, and people are upset about it.
Sorry.
People are upset about it because there's a lot of black people in that movie, right?
Yeah.
And like I think it's really awesome.
A lot of black characters.
Yeah.
Not just zombies.
No, yeah, and I think it's really awesome that this exists. I as a person who doesn't know, who like I listen to you guys talk about it, but I will watch this movie because of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's cool to push the envelope, and it's cool to give people who haven't had necessarily the opportunity to do things other than to be scream queens or put their boobs on TV or whatever, and give an opportunity for people to take female-led horror in a really serious way.
Yeah.
It's nice to not be objectified.
Yeah, exactly. I think you can also make a bigger... What?
The Witch. We talked about The Witch last week.
Yeah.
The Witch was that, and It Follows, which we mentioned both of those movies. Yes, those movies are both very female-fronted.
We watched a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cruel Intentions.
I would also say...
Well, no, not Cruel... Well, kind of Cruel Intentions.
I would also...
But, Girl Interrupted.
Yes.
I would also say that this... Obviously, we talked about this movie last week, too. Hereditary is like that, too. Hereditary is very female-fronted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking time. It's about fucking time.
So before I get into the... Well, actually, I'll say this real quick. So I would recommend watching VHS 1 and 2. And I would also say Southbound is really good. I don't know if you've seen Southbound.
Yeah, Southbound is good.
And stuff like Trick or Treat, all that. I don't know
Trick or Treat is great.
Trick or Treat is one of the best. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would recommend the ABCs of Death. If you're looking to have fun and sit down and watch
I think I would recommend the
ABCs
ABCs of Death.
Really shitty ones.
I think I would recommend the ABCs of Death because it's a fucking ride.
It is. There's some really shitty ones. There's some really good ones.
There's some really good ones. The one... everybody knows, the one I'm talking about.
The one with the
guy strapped in the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so, that movie, that's so unsettling.
The one that sticks with me is, I don't know if you remember this one. There's one specifically where a surfer, it's a POV of a surfer.
Uh-huh.
And he gets out of his car and he brings this bag that you don't know what's in this bag. And he swims out with a surfboard to the ocean. Again, it's like a GoPro attached to him. And he gets off his surfboard and it's a bag of bricks and he just goes and drowns himself. Mm-hmm. And it's just like... Fuck.
Or I don't know if this is an ABCs of Death 1 or 2, but where the girl is like looking at all those fashion magazines and she gets in the shower and
I hate that one. That one's so sad.
She cuts all of her
to
like
look like the fashion magazines.
Yeah, and she's just like skin and bones, or not even skin. She's just like bones and just dies.
Yeah. So also, I would say that this is the very last thing before we start.
Okay, because this isn't a podcast about those things.
I think that horror anthology is
also it's not. You've been talking about shit for the past fucking...
It also does a really cool thing for horror in general where it gives small directors an outlet to do cool stuff.
Yep.
So I think that's cool. I hope we see more anthologies. Okay, Melissa.
Good anthologies.
Rank the... Yes, good anthologies. Let's rank the 4
good female-led anthologies.
Yes. 1 being the best.
1 being best, 5 being worst.
Okay.
So no 5 is the box.
Yes. 1 is Her Only Living Son. Duh. 2 is the birthday one. Yeah.
The birthday.
The birthday party. 3 is... Are we doing 4 or 5?
4.
Okay.
Oh, it's 4. We said 5. It's 4.
Yeah. Yeah, so 1 is Her Only Living Son, 2 is The Birthday Party, 3 is Don't Fall, 4 is fucking The Box.
Yeah, and I would say I think it's Her Only Living Son is number one by far. I think 2 and 3 are pretty close to each
Pretty
other.
close, absolutely.
And then far down is number 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
Okay, so let's give it a blanket. Now that we have all these 4 different movies, let's give this one movie XX 1 rating.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 7.
I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay.
I think that the box really tears it down.
Yeah, but if you don't think about that one.
But
I mean, it is a part of the package, right?
Yeah, I know.
So I'm going to give it a 6, and that is the final word.
Okay.
So you can find us. I think it's my turn to do social media. You can find us at Plot Unknown on Instagram and Facebook, and that's it. And then you can go over to Twitter and check us out on Plot Unknown Pod. Mm-hmm. We also have an email that's plotunknown@gmail.com. Please email us. And we have a website. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, we're on iTunes. Wait, did you do that?
No.
Okay. I just zoned out for a second. Yeah, we're available on iTunes, the podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, pretty much anywhere you can get podcasts. We haven't really tried anywhere else, but I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere.
Most people just use Spotify or fucking
just Google
iTunes podcasts, so wherever you want to listen to it. Uh-huh.
What do you got in store for next week?
Once again, I realize that I haven't seen a lot of movies that start with a Y. So it's a movie I haven't seen, but I've wanted to see. It's a musical, and it's Barbara motherfucking Streisand. Whoop whoop.
No idea.
Good.
What?
You won't? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Good.
Barbara Streisand in a musical with the words Y.
I think it's a musical. I'm pretty sure it's a musical.
With a movie
it's Barbara
with some
Streisand.
sort of
It's got
music
to be.
with Y.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you everybody for listening.
Sure, you're looking forward to that?
Thank you everybody for listening.
I'm out of this podcast. Bye.
Roll that clip.
Roll that clip.